Hey guys, good morning. I am getting ready for the day. I am home, obviously, and I got home, what's today? Not yesterday, but then the evening before. And yesterday I just sort of spent kind of, doing all the things that I had to do. Unpack, which actually took me a long time, longer than usual. I had to unpack and, I went through all of my clothing, what needed to be dry cleaned, what could just be hung up, what needed to be washed, laundered, all of that. And, obviously I had to kind of organize the things that I had purchased in Milan. So I can't wait to show you guys that. We're definitely going to be doing that in this video. And I also wanted to just kind of recap the trip because it was, hectic. That doesn't have the right connotation, but it was, we were buzzing around. We were buzzing around Milan. And so I don't feel like I had a lot of time to like recap what we had just done or like how I felt about stuff. I also like things to settle, especially after I've seen, some amazing things. So I did want to talk about, the Prada show, and I was able to go to the Gucci Risi and just, talk about that like a little bit. And then just talk about the trip in general and how, oh my gosh, like how incredible it was and how it felt like a dream. It didn't feel like my life. And it was so great. So I got on with, my day. I got my nails done, you guys. So I got really into the ombre nail. I got the Prada green. It's like a pistachio green ombre nail for the trip. And I just really liked that ombre effect. I just thought it was so cool. Even though it's not new or groundbreaking in any way, I just really, really liked it. So I found a picture of this effect and, I was talking to my tech and I was like, I don't know what color this is at the bottom. I don't know if that's like a beigey gray or something. And she was like, no, that's just clear with a little bit of black mixed in. So she's like, we'll put that down as a base and then we'll ombre the black on top. And I was like, so that's what she did. So cool. And I decided to leave my nails on the longer side to allow for more of the ombre effect. It's kind of annoying me. You guys know I usually keep my nails very short. It's definitely kind of annoying me. Like I can't type on my phone. I'm like just typos all over the place. I'm loving this look. And I wanted to do something dark since we are entering like Halloween season. So I did that yesterday and then we took Butters to school. So it was one of those catch-up days. We did grocery shopping. We went to Costco, got some essentials, chicken breast, ground turkey, blueberries, all of that stuff. I am back on my trainer's meal protocol. My body is very confused. It's like, what happened to the pasta? Where's the gelato? I had a great time eating in Milan. They are known for their saffron risotto. I think that's like the dish of Milan. So I had that plenty of times. Saffron risotto, highly recommend, very tasty. The saffron is really subtle, but it's just good. It's really, really good. And the cheese that they use, I've noticed, is not quite as sharp as a lot of the risottos I've had in the States. It's like a little bit, just a little bit calmer. And I think it's to let the saffron come through. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to taste it at all. So it was great. That was wonderful. Anyway, I need to kind of finish getting ready. I'm doing my skincare. I'm going to probably just tie my hair back because, it was fall in Milan. It got warm during the day kind of, but it was fall. It was fall. And I really got into the fall. I was very, very happy. And I came home and when I left the airport here in Vegas, it was like 102. I was like, it's not fall here. It is definitely not fall here. So I'll probably just be tying my hair back. But I'm just gonna do my skincare. I've been using this Allies of Skin Tranexamic and Arbutin Advanced Brightening Serum. You guys have seen me bring this along on my trips. I started using this when I went to New York in July. So I started using it before then. So I've been using this for like at least 2 months now. And I can tell because I'm getting those like death squirts where it's like more air than product. I'm getting down to the bottom. But I wanted to share with you my thoughts on this because I'm working with Allies of Skin on this video. So big thank you to them. And I just wanted to share with you that I feel like my skin has been not just smoother, but it's gotten like I have no product on my face right now. I just got out of the shower. In fact, it's starting to feel kind of dry, but I'm getting this really nice kind of glowy sheen, smooth sheen to my skin, which is incredible. And this is a brightening serum. So what I really was hoping to see was some kind of lightening of these sunspots that I have. It's tough. I do like morning walks. The sun here in Vegas is very, very strong, but I feel like these have softened a little bit. These are probably the deepest, darkest sunspots that I have on my face, these three right here. And I feel like they're kind of, yeah, like softened, they're a little bit lighter. And I am so pleased. I'm beyond thrilled, beyond thrilled. So there's 5% mushroom complex, 5% niacinamide, which really agrees with my skin, so I'm a big fan of that. 3% tranexamic acid, 2% alpha arbutin, and there's 6 brighteners and peptides in this serum. So I've been using this pretty much every day during my daytime routine and sometimes at night. And I like to use it after I've obviously cleansed my skin. If I feel like I need a little bit of a toner, I'll tone my skin and then I'll go in with this serum. And what I like to do is obviously cleanse my skin. And if I feel like I need a little bit of toning, I have very, very dry skin. I just turned 51. So I have very, very dry skin, and sometimes I don't feel like I need toner. But if I do, I'll use some toner, and then I'll go in with this serum, and then I'll follow it up with moisturizer. So I haven't really changed up my routine necessarily. I've just been using this in that space where I use a serum. So, ooh, like I said, I'm definitely getting down to the bottom there. But here's the texture of the serum. And I just massage it into my face. Really focus it on my cheeks, since that's where I have the most discoloration. But I use it all over. I bring it down my neck, back of my neck, and of course along the jawline. And that's it. That's 2 pumps. Covers my whole face and my neck. And then I like to let it, settle a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, and then I go in with my moisturizer. So I have got a coupon code for you guys, which I will flash up here on the screen. It is good on the Allies of Skin website, which is down below my description box if you want to go ahead and use the link there. And I've really, really been enjoying this the past 2 months. I really feel like my skin looks much more even, which I'm so thankful for. Usually I come out of a summer season feeling really, really blotchy and freckly, but I think this serum has truly helped. All right, well, I'm gonna get dressed and do something with my hair, and I'll be right back. Hi, baby. Taking in some sun? How are you doing? How are you doing? So happy to be home with you now. Cutie. Cutie pie. I am about to make some coffee here, and I'm such an American. I really missed coffee. When I was in Italy, Italian coffee is incredible. I mean, it tastes incredible. It's delicious, but they don't have coffee. It's just different forms of espresso, like espresso, Americano, a latte, a cappuccino, but there was no just like a nice big mug of coffee. And anytime I ordered an Americano, it was, the biggest, it was like a teacup size. And I get it. I get it. You want like a strong shot of something, and I know they think our coffee is really weak, but I just like sitting there with like a big mug of coffee. So I really missed that when I was traveling, and I kept asking for like a really big Americano, and they were like, okay. And they would, either they just didn't understand what I was trying to say, or they thought what they were giving me was big, which is a huge possibility because everything here is so supersized. But it was pretty funny. My friend Julie and I that I was there with, we had the same issue. We were like, we just want like a big cup of coffee. And then in some places, they will bring you the shot of espresso and then like the hot water separately. So you can make your own Americano. You could dilute it however much you wanted. And so I would say like, can you bring me like 4 shots of espresso, like a really big amount? And I was like, a big pitcher of hot water. It just never really happened. So anyway, I've just been really enjoying my coffee at home now. And I do love the idea of those espresso bars. So oftentimes in Italy, you'll walk in someplace, order an espresso, and you just stand at the bar, you shoot it, because it's like 1 ounce of liquid, I think, or less. And then you just leave, like that's it. Like, I don't know what it is about Americans and our culture, but we like to have like a big thing and like nurse it and carry it with us. I don't think I've been to any other country where you see so many people like just walking around with a coffee cup. It's such an American thing. I think it's so funny. I'm like, we need our like coffee safety blanket. Like we need to have it with us at all times. So I just wanted to sit and chat with you guys a little bit, just to kind of, you know, round up the trip and give you some of my thoughts or explain some things that I feel like I just kind of glazed over, because it really was a bustling trip and our days were really, really full. And I do feel like you probably saw a lot of stuff and was like, what was that? So when we got to Italy, as you guys saw, Julie and I spent a few days in Lake Como, Lake Lugano. And then we took a car into Milan. And once we got to Milan, it was basically just like Prada, Prada, Prada with a little bit of Gucci sprinkled in there. So Julie was there as a VIC, which is a very important client. And then Zohair, who is her senior client advisor, he was there from the New York Fifth Avenue store to basically, you know, assist Julie in anything that she needs, and et cetera, et cetera. So that was, you know, sort of the situation. So when we got to Milan, we went straight to the hotel, which was the Principe di Savoia. And it was, and I think I mentioned this in the vlog a little bit, but it's like a really old school, really old school hotel. Like the decor and everything is very, very old fashioned, and not really my taste or my style, but you could appreciate it. I mean, everything was like gold gilded and ornate and really kind of, you know, dark wood and different colors of stones and marbles and everything. So it was very ornate. But the one thing that, you know, and it was, the service was incredible. I don't think I've ever had a hotel that was so busy, first of all, because it's Milan Fashion Week. You know, a lot of companies are putting up people at this particular hotel. So they were nuts. I mean, at every moment that I was at that hotel, it's tons of people, inside, outside, cars coming, whatever. Anyway, it was a crazy time. And they were incredible. The service was incredible. It was like if I needed anything, you know, I would call, they'd pick up, I'd hang up the phone, ding dong, they were like at the door. I mean, it was really excellent. So highly recommend, if you don't mind, a really ornate, older styled hotel. My only issue, and not to sound complainy, but I just want to point this out in case you are going to Milan and you're considering hotels, the rooms are very dark. So it was not great for my purposes, like filming and things, but man, if you need to sleep, whew, you just like close those drapes and it's like nothing will penetrate those drapes. I had like a front door and then I had a door to the bedroom. I would close both. So quiet, so quiet. There was actually one night where I didn't have to wake up and do anything, and I slept for 10 hours. I could have continued sleeping, but I was like, whoa, let me get up. So yeah, so it was both, the darkness was both good and bad. But other than that, I thought the hotel was great. The, you know, breakfast buffet or the lunch menu, all that stuff, it was nice. It was very sufficient, lovely. The gym was lovely. The equipment was very new. There's a pool, an indoor pool that people were taking advantage of. I did not. So that's where we stayed for most of the time. Now, Prada invited Julie and Julie invited me as her +1. So that hotel was picked by Prada. They provided like a car and a driver for the days that we were with them, which was so helpful. I think at the beginning of my vlog, when we got to Milan, I was talking about how I wanted to get a bigger bag because I wanted to have like more comfortable shoes with me if I needed to like swap them out, if we would end up like walking too much, if my feet basically were just killing me. And when I realized that we would have like the same car and driver throughout the day, like one was assigned to Julie, I was like, oh, I can just leave the shoes in the car. So it was really handy, really handy. So that was great, and I didn't need to get a larger bag. So that was, you know, wonderful. So Prada basically hosted us through Saturday. So we had to check out of that hotel Saturday, and I was going to leave, but Julie was staying until Monday because she was going on to Paris. And Fashion Week, I think there were still shows on Saturday. So anyway, long story short, I decided to stay until Monday. I booked my plane tickets or whatever, but then it was really difficult for me to find a hotel for Saturday and Sunday because a lot of the hotels either wanted like a Fashion Week minimum, or they wanted like a 3-night minimum or something like that, or I couldn't get a hotel for both nights. I could get a hotel for Saturday, and then I'd have to get a different hotel for Sunday. So I ended up crashing with my friend at her hotel because she was there for work, and because she's there for work, she's just basically not at the hotel. So she was like, just come stay with me. She's like, I'm barely in the room. I basically go back, go to sleep, wake up, and then go back out. So that's why the hotel changed. Just FYI, because again, I don't think I explained it well, and you're probably like, why did you go to another hotel? So the second hotel I went to was Hotel Gallia, which was near the central train station. Beautiful building. I think I pointed it out in the vlog. And that hotel was really nice. A little bit more modern. The room was a little bit brighter, very comfortable. However, they had a like Fashion Week after party every night. Now, it didn't wake me up. Let me back up. It basically started at like 4 a.m. So it was an after party. 4 a.m. So if I, let's say, for instance, like woke up to have to go to the bathroom, I could hear like the beat. I could hear the beat like through the walls, and so it would be difficult to go back to sleep. But I did sleep through it because it was kind of subtle, but it was definitely there, and it was really funny. The first morning I woke up there on Sunday, I got up to go to the bathroom, and I get back into bed, and I'm just laying there, and my friend, we were sharing the bed, she just rolled over and she was like, do you hear that? I was like, what is that? She's like, that's their after party. I was like, oh my God. And she's like, it's really, thankfully it's like really subtle, but like I said, like once you wake up, you hear it. So that was definitely the one downside to that hotel. Both of the hotels, just location-wise, were fine. Milan is not that big, so even if you're not like, central, like by all the boutiques or, like all the shows are all over anyway, so the location was totally fine for both of them. Okay, so the Prada show. I just want to say, first of all, incredible. It was what an incredible experience. I will like dream about that moment for the rest of my life. It was so much fun, and it was just such an incredible experience. Like if you're really into fashion, the art of fashion, it's just incredible. And I'm such a Prada fan, so it was, it was great. It was absolutely great. So what I was not prepared for were the throngs of people outside waiting to get like a glimpse at their celebrities. And I thought, who are all of these like screaming young women, like lining up the street leading up to the Fondazione, which is where the show was. I'm like, what's going on? They had these like big banners. I didn't understand them. And, you know, Julie, of course, she was joking. She was like, is this for us? I'm like, it's for you. But come to find out, it was for a K-pop band, N-hyphen. No idea. Absolutely no idea. But of course I had to look them up. So there's 7 members to this band. They're a K-pop band. They have a lot of adoring fans, and I believe they're Prada ambassadors. So they were at the show, and I think they all came like one by one too. So it was like this very long, drawn out process for these fans. I couldn't recognize them because I had no idea who they were, but they were there. Like anytime we saw a ton of security kind of milling about, we just knew like in there was this K-pop band. There were some other celebrities there, but no one was there for like, is her name Ashley Simone? I feel like I'm mixing up her, or is it Simone Ashley? I think it's Ashley Simone. She's in Bridgerton. She's another Prada ambassador. She was there. Gorgeous. I caught a glimpse of her. Breathtakingly gorgeous. You know, none of these like screaming fans were there for her. Not that I think. I mean, I really think they were all there for this one K-pop band. There were people like camped out at the exit too. So for us, like mere mortals, we had to walk out of the exit and then the car would pull up and then we would get in and drive away. For the K-pop members, the car had to actually drive onto the property so they could get in, like in the gates, so they could get in, so the fans wouldn't basically like tear them apart. So that was really interesting. I got to catch a glimpse of Anna Della Russo, who is one of my longtime favorite fashion icons. She, I think, was either the stand-in editor-in-chief or was the editor-in-chief or one of the editors at Vogue Italia. She's just been a fixture in the fashion world for a long time. So it was so great to see her at the show. I mean, she's just, if you guys know her, she's so iconic. Just long, pin straight, like dirty blonde hair, really tan. Just very Italian. Like she wasn't decked out. I mean, you know, she was wearing like a Prada dress, but usually her fashion is like very over the top, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So she was there, and then after the show, which never happens, but we were allowed to go backstage, and Mrs. Prada and Raf were back there actually like answering questions to reporters and journalists. That never happens. Usually she like just peeks out, you know, does a little wave and then goes back in. She never even like walks the runway. So I got to, you saw the footage, but I got to get kind of close to her. I was like, oh my God. And she was wearing the most iconic Prada outfit, of course, like a white shirt, probably like cashmere sweater, gray over it, sleeves, you know, pushed up. And she had this like diamond cuff or bracelet, basically like holding the sleeve up just on her right side, I believe. I don't think it was on both. I think it was like right here, but it was like so cool. Over a pleated skirt and then like satin heels. And I was like, it's just so, it's so perfection. It was so perfection, but I could not believe that I actually like I was like near her. I was really kind of like fangirling out. But she's very, very introverted and very shy, and you cannot just like walk up to her or whatever. Like that's not, you don't do that. So I was just kind of like hanging out like kind of far back, but I got some like pictures of her or whatever. Amazing, absolutely amazing. As for the show, I loved it. It felt like a retrospective of Prada. And because I've been such a fan of Prada's for so long, since like the early 90s, and if you guys don't know this, if you're new to my channel, the very first designer thing I ever bought myself was the Prada nylon tote with the gold chain handles. They actually came back out with it. It was their re-edition 1995 bag. They came out with it and it was quilted. Mine was plain. And the shape is a little bit different. But I purchased that after getting my very first paycheck outside of college. And I was still sleeping in a sleeping bag on a floor in a tiny apartment. And the only other thing I had in that room was a cardboard box that I used as my nightstand. I just had like my clothes like folded up in piles on the floor. And I had my sleeping bag, which was very comfortable, and a box with like a sheet over it. That was my nightstand. And I went out with my first paycheck and bought that bag instead of furniture or anything. food or anything. So yeah, it was just, yeah, Prada was like my first, you know, high fashion love. And so it just felt really full circle. Anyway, so the show, it was, it just felt like almost like a retrospective of modern times at Prada, because Prada's been around for a long time, but like of modern times of Prada, from like the time that I really, really loved the brand. They had these crisscross sandals there in this, it's not just antique, this is kind of like modeled finished leather, crisscross flat sandals with a round buckle, like faux tortoise kind of buckle. And I remember wanting that when it came out way back, like late 90s, early 2000s, I can't remember. And to see that shoe on the runway, I was like, oh my God. And then a loafer that I didn't even notice on the runway, because the runway show is very fast. The models, they're just walking right by you. It's like seeing someone on the street. And I'm gonna mention this because I mentioned this to some of my friends and they were shocked, absolutely shocked. But like a runway show generally is no longer than like 10 minutes. 10 minutes is long. This show was maybe like 6-8 minutes. I didn't really time it, but like the models come out and they walk and then it's over. So it's not like a long affair. Everything building up to it, all the stuff afterwards obviously is, you know, there's much more time involved, but the actual show is very short. So what I noticed when I got to go to the showroom, to the Risi a few days later, was they had this loafer, and it has, you know, the loafer block heel in the back, and in the front they have a platform, so they're separated. So it's like you're basically walking on these blocks, and kind of Asian inspired for sure. And I had those loafers when they first came out this must have been in the late 90s. I'm trying to think like what job I had when I was wearing those loafers. I don't have them anymore. And they were comfortable because they were loafers, but they weren't that easy to walk in. I did trip in them quite often with all the curbs in New York. Anyway, I saw those and I just, you know, I was just brought back and I thought, oh my God, like they really brought back like some of the best elements from their past shows and just, you know, styled them up differently, of course. And it was wonderful. It was really, really wonderful. So I just wanted to talk about that because I know I didn't really get to like talk about the show when I was vlogging. Also, I wanted to mention that I thought my outfits were really, really appropriate. And I was really, really worried about that, as you guys know. Like I've never done anything like this. I don't know what to expect. And of course, Julie was a great help. And Zohair, who is Julie's client advisor, he was, of course, very, very helpful. The bomber jacket, the kid mohair bomber jacket that I had, you know, I just wasn't sure if that was going to be too casual or whatever. No, everyone was wearing it. It's new season. Everyone was wearing like iterations of it. So I saw like the leather version. I saw the navy blue version. I saw like the cardigan version being worn. So I felt very, very like appropriate because I ended up wearing that to the dinner. And I was like, is this too casual? And I paired it with a skirt. So, you know, it was fine. I was going to wear it with pants, but Zohair and Julie were like, put a skirt on. So I wore a skirt and it was perfect. And I had those big lug sole loafers on, the lace-up loafers. And it was great. It was perfect. I didn't feel out of place. I didn't feel like too casual. And some people were really, really dressed up, but it just wasn't that vibe. And then my shirt with the tie and the skirt, you know, it was like a free-for-all at the fashion, because it's a fashion show and there's people who are working a ton of different fashion shows, like journalists or whatever. They're wearing whatever. And then my friend that I crashed with who works, she was at the show and she was wearing Prada, but like, you know, a sweater on top, like nothing too fancy. So it was like just a nice, it was just chill. It was just like a chance for you to wear what you wanted to wear. And I really liked my tie ensemble. I really did. I thought it was just like, it was very me. I could have gone like more over the top. I could have gone even more casual or whatever, but I just thought it was very me, the whole outfit. So I was comfortable. It was also hot. It was hot as hell in that room with the actual fashion show. So I was just wearing that shirt. So it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. And then I had my cardigan, which is right here. I had my cashmere cardigan, which was perfect, perfect. It was just like the most perfect layering piece. It would, you know, be chillier in the morning. It would get cold at night. I usually just had like a shirt on or whatever. This was like the perfect piece. I didn't want to wear the bomber jacket like all the time. It just, you know, I wanted options. This was a great option. So glad I had that. I definitely packed more than I needed, but I was happy to have the options. I was happy to have like, you know, a closet that I could kind of like sift through. Just helps. It helps me like think. Now, the one thing that I didn't wear was the ombre shirt dress. And I will tell you why. It, for some reason, to me, even though I know it's not, I just felt like maybe because it's like a shirt dress, like if it was more of like a, I don't know, rounded collar or, you know, 3/4 sleeve or something, the shirt dress, it felt very casual to me. I don't know why. It didn't feel that casual to me when I tried it on here or whatever, but you know, when you're in a different place and you see the way people dress or whatever, it just felt a little bit more casual. Like if I had maybe like, I don't know, a soft colored blazer or something, like I feel like that could have finished off the look, but by itself, I don't know, I just didn't feel like it was that appropriate for any of the occasions. Isn't that weird? I mean, I'm so glad I have it. I love, love, love that shirt dress. I will definitely be wearing it for sure. But it just, I don't know, it just didn't like strike the right note. It felt very like working woman, what I would wear to work that day. It didn't seem fun enough. Is that the right word? Anyway, it just didn't seem appropriate. So anyway, that's the one like outfit that I had planned to wear that I didn't wear, but that's okay. I feel okay about it. I feel very good about what I did end up wearing and everything. What I will also mention, you guys are probably like, oh God, there's more. Pleated skirts, very, very difficult to keep looking neat. First of all, the packing of it, not great, although because, you know, the fabrics that Prada uses are so incredible. That kid mohair one that I think I showed you in the vlog, that came out of the suitcase and I was like, wow, this does not look bad at all. The nylon one is a little bit more difficult because that, you know, nylon is really stiff. I really needed to kind of like iron it out. I just didn't have time. But every time I got in and out of the car with the nylon kilt that was pleated, it was like I had to kind of like shake out the pleats and like make sure they looked okay. And they didn't look okay. They did not look as pressed and as like pristine as I would like. But it's really funny. I kept hearing this same thing over and over again, that Mrs. Prada doesn't like that. She likes things that are a little ruffled, a little not quite right. And I will show you when I show you the things that I purchased. A lot of her clothing has these like presses in there. It's almost like when you unpack clothing and you want to iron it out, she leaves them in there. And it's for her like a thing of nostalgia. She used to play like in her grandmother's like dresser drawers. So she would open up her grandmother's dresser drawers and pull out clothing, and all of those kind of presses and creases would be in there. And so she likes that. She likes that look. And for someone who doesn't like to iron, I'm like, I like that look too. So I was like, great, perfect. Because I always feel a little disheveled. I don't know about you guys, but especially coming from New York, you know, after like mass transportation, walking 20 blocks, it's hot, it's cold, everything, I always feel disheveled. And it's just, you know, I don't live in New York anymore, but I feel like it's just my constant state now is dishevelment. So I really appreciated that about Mrs. Prada, because I was like, I'm down for this like not ironed look. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's all I wanted to chat about, at least for now. But yeah, I do want to show you what I purchased while I was there. I definitely did a lot more shopping than I expected to, but between the exchange rate, right now it's like $1 to like 1.1 euro, which is almost parity. It's pretty close. So there's that in our favor, US dollar favor. And then the VAT refund, it's 12% in Italy. So how could I pass up purchasing a few things? Let's go upstairs so I can show you what I picked up in Milan. I also need to show you this. Look at these beautiful flowers that my husband got for me for my birthday. They were waiting for me when I got home. Aren't they so cool? They're from this company, J'adore la fleur. And they always make these arrangements in these boxes. They have other styles of arrangements, but that's what they're known for. And it has like a back to it. Hold on, let me walk around. Even has sort of a back to it, so that's the lid of the box. So it looks like the roses are popping out. I've had bouquets like this before, so you probably have seen them. Actually, Lori Hill sent me one for my birthday last year, which was so sweet. And I think the flowers were similar. They had this sort of metallic treatment to them. They're so pretty. Anyway, and my husband, I guess he sprung for the happy birthday box. But you know what I'm gonna do actually? I need to put some makeup on. I'm gonna put some makeup on. Let's do that together quickly, and then we'll go up and I'll show you what I got in Milan. All right, I'm gonna start with some Bobbi Brown vitamin enriched face base. My skin feels pretty good, but because I've been traveling, I feel like I need to, you know, be good to it. I need to feed it some good stuff. So I really love this face base. It always feels so nourishing. And I cannot get enough of the Westman Atelier concealer. So I have shade, what shade am I using? L4 is the shade that I'm using. And here I am using the viewfinder as my mirror. Again, I'm gonna pull out a compact here. I need to change my background because I keep going dark because I'm backlit. How's this? Is this better? I think that's a little bit better. So, what was I saying? Oh, so I talk about this concealer often because I've been using this quite a bit lately. I really, really like the high pigmentation and kind of like the thick, tacky texture of it. It doesn't budge all day. It's so great. I feel like this L4 is a little bit light for me though. I think I'm gonna have to try L5. And sorry, my point is, every time I talk about this concealer, you guys actually comment that I should try the Victoria Beckham concealer. So that's on my list. I just need to like organize myself. It's been kind of crazy. But yeah, I really want to try that concealer. I'm hearing the best things about it. So that's definitely on the list. Okay, I'm gonna throw on some of my Chanel Beige Cream to Powder blush. I'm really liking this blush. It's very light. It is definitely for light to very light skin tones. So if you are like mine, you'll probably enjoy this blush, but it is very, very pale. And I do feel like I have to build it up. But it's very natural and it's great for just like an easy daytime look. Oh my gosh, something else I wanted to mention. When I was in Milan, I ran into some subscribers. It was just, it's always the absolute best. If I'm ever out and about and you see me, please stop me. It is the absolute best. So the first subscriber, or the first viewer I met was Janan, and she's actually a VIC at Prada. So when we were at the store for the shopping event, the very first thing that we went to after the Paper Moon lunch, she was there. So Zohair actually was talking to her client services advisor, and they were talking, and then she said to me, she's like, I love your videos. And I was like, oh my God, I was so touched. I was so touched. She's so sweet. I mean, just the nicest woman. So that was really incredible. And then when I was at Miu Miu, a woman stopped me. Her name is Teresa. So if you're watching, hello. She's from Seattle, the Seattle area. And she was there actually visiting her daughter, who was doing like an exchange program in Milan, and didn't realize that it was Fashion Week. And I was like, oh my God, how jarring it must have been to come during Fashion Week. But they were at Miu Miu shopping. So it was nice to run into Teresa. And then I ran into Nina. And this was, where were we? We were out and about. I think we were kind of near the Galleria. I think maybe we had just left the Galleria. We ran into Nina, who currently lives in Dubai, and she was visiting Milan, knew that I was in Milan, and she said that she was hoping to run into me, and she did. And so she stopped me on the street. It was just so, it was so cool. And I loved it. I loved it. Those were probably definitely some highlights from the trip. It was really fantastic. So anyway, I forgot to mention that before, but that was so much fun. So when I was getting ready for the Prada show, the makeup artist used like a Makeup Forever artist pencil on me for the lip liner, and it was a very dark, cool toned brown. I think it was this one. I should have asked, but I was focused on the foundation. She used the MAC Face and Body Foundation in C1 and C2 on me, just FYI. She kind of used them separately in some places and then basically like mixed it together. I think this is a very similar shade. This is 506 Endless Cacao, so it's like a very cool tone brown. And then she used like a Chanel Rouge Cocoa Flash, I believe in Dominant. It was like a red with a little bit of coolness to it, so like a little bit of blue in there. And it was amazing because it ended up looking like I had a nude type of lip, but it was actually very, very deep. It was great. The effect was amazing. So let me actually see if I have Dominant. I thought I did, but I may have decluttered it because it would have been very old. Let me check. I don't have that Dominant color. I really thought I did. Well, I pulled out some nudes. I pulled out Boy, which is one of my favorites here. And then this is Chicness. This is a little bit warmer than Boy. So actually, I don't know if that's gonna work. All right, let's try this lip liner. I feel like it's gonna be a little bit dark for these other Rouge Cocoa Flashes, but let's see. Yeah, if this is not the shade, it's very, very close. Let me try Boy. I hope this works. Yeah, I think it's a little bit too light, or I need to cover more of my lip with the lip liner, but let me see if I can just kind of fudge it by rubbing it in. I think that looks okay. All right. I need a tissue now though. All right, I think I look more presentable. So let's go upstairs and check out some things. Okay, so I'm gonna start with what I have on, which I did show you in Milan, but I just wanted to share it again with you. So these are the brown sapphire earrings that I commissioned Luna to make. I saw a post of hers on Instagram where she was showing these stones, and I think in a very similar setting, possibly earrings, I can't remember now. Yeah, I think they were earrings, and I was like, I want those, please. And sapphire is the birthstone for September, so I really wanted to get them for my birthday. So she came over, delivered them, and I just love them so much. And so when I was borrowing some of her jewelry, she was so generous in lending me like so many beautiful pieces. There was this ring that she basically snuck in there. So she actually made this for me and gifted this to me for my birthday. So this is a matching ring to these earrings. So it's a brown sapphire set in 18 karat rose gold. So isn't this gorgeous? It fits my first finger perfectly. And there's a little bit of a teardrop, what am I trying to say? Yeah, teardrop shape to this. I mean, not really, but just a little bit, like one side is more pointed than the other. So I like wearing it with the point up, but isn't that stunning? And if you guys watched my last vlog with the interview with Luna, these are rose cut stones. Really, really gorgeous. So those are the new pieces that I got from Luna that I am so thrilled about. I just think these are perfect, like everyday earrings. I have not taken these off since she delivered these to me, dropped these off to me, but I just want to show you and also just reiterate again, if this is your first time watching me, that Luna creates fine jewelry, obviously, but they're all one of a kind. So I have a coupon code actually for earrings and rings through October 15th, and that is 10% off, which is a fantastic deal for fine jewelry. and you will get a one-of-a-kind piece. So if you like this, what she'll do is keep an eye out for brown sapphires. She'll present to you the stones, the gemstones, and then what you'll get is something very, very similar, but not exactly the same, because she creates a mold of all of her pieces in wax. And then once that wax piece is cast in gold, the wax completely melts away. Everything is one of a kind. But what I wanted to show you was how cool her pieces are. Look at the back. The back is just as beautiful as the front, and it looks like a 4-leaf clover. Isn't that incredible? I mean, just unbelievable. Her work is unbelievable, and it is so time consuming. The whole process of it, again, which I showed in the last vlog, it is so time consuming, and it's incredible. Like, I love workshops, and I love watching people work, and you know, the thought of, I see Luna with like her, heat gun and the wax and molding it around like the stone, and then that going off and getting cast and it coming back, and them having to like file it all down and polish it, reset the stone, make sure the size is right. And again, if you caught that vlog, like all of these chains are Luna's. And like I said, she hand makes every single little piece. So every single link in this chain is unique. It is like hand cast, it is hand polished and hand filed, every single link. Each link is like cut manually, attached, resealed together. So just absolutely incredible. And she also, like the closures and everything and all of the fixings, those are all hand created as well. So these aren't things that you can just, buy at a jewelry supply store, which is generally what you get with demi-fine jewelry or even other fine jewelry. You get like pre-made pieces. No, all of hers, one of a kind, handmade, hand cast. She feels very strongly about that. She also loves, like just as an artist, like loves closures and figuring out like the mechanics of it. So anyway, her things are incredible. It just takes my breath away every time. So anyway, that's what I got from Luna. Let me share with you what I got at Prada during the shopping event. You guessed it, another pair of sunglasses. So comes in this hard case, and I don't know, I really like the frames, and I really like these yellow lenses. I have those Gucci sunglasses with the yellow lenses, and I love them. I love them. I just love how they're light, and I can still see through them. They're not too dark, but the yellow really cuts out like the blinding light. It just works really well. So it's a faux tortoise. Here's the Prada triangle on the side there. And I love this kind of square shape, really comfortable. I wore these while I was there, and it's like those sunglasses I forget they're on. Like, I have a lot of really big sunglasses that are kind of heavy. I have to take them on, take them off, because I feel like they start to weigh on my face or whatever. Not these. It was like I forgot they were on. So they're gorgeous. I'll put all the information down below in my description box for all these things, if there is something to be found online. I really love how comfortable they are, and how they fit my wide face, and how they're big but not like too oversized. They're just a very, I don't know, normal shaped sunglasses. Like, they're not like too crazy. So very wearable, very everyday. Love them. And then I picked up 2 pieces of clothing. I got this super basic sweater. I am just a sucker for like a crew neck pullover sweater. I love it. I love wearing them over like a white button front shirt, a t-shirt, underneath things. This color is what really caught my eye. And the fact that it is not a solid color, it's like a melange. And it's basically, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a pumpkin spice color. Now, it's a little bit more rusty than that t-shirt, that Prada t-shirt that I have, which is a little bit more, I think a little bit more red. Actually, let me get that as comparison. Yeah, here's the t-shirt and here's the sweater. So you can see the sweater is a bit more orange, it has a bit more brown in there, and this one is just deeper and brighter. And it's just the perfect color for fall. And it's a great, non-neutral neutral. Like, this would work perfectly with black, gray, navy, camel, all the other neutral colors, cream, white, all the other neutral colors. And it just has the Prada knit triangle in the back. So very, very low key in its branding. And I have this in a size 40, and it is a 70-30 wool cashmere blend. So that is the first thing that I picked up at Prada. And then this guy I hemmed and hawed about, but this is like a pullover anorak. And I love the style of this. This reminded me of all the J. Crew and LL Bean anoraks that I wanted when I was in high school, junior high, high school. If you're around 50, you absolutely remember these anoraks. The J. Crew one was like a color block one. It had like a white or off-white kind of color block here with the zipper, and then the rest was, you know, like a forest green. I think they had navy, of course. And then the LL Bean ones were really popular. It was more of like a nylon material. The J. Crew ones were more of like a trench coat material. So anyway, these anoraks always remind me of that. There was always like a kangaroo pocket in the anorak. It's a pullover, and this one actually has like a drawstring at the bottom there. It has the hood. This actually has like a shirt cuff, which I think is so cool. And this material is camel. So this is like a brushed camel woven, and it's so soft. It's so incredible. Camel hair is very, it's hair, so it's like longer and it's smoother, unlike wool, unlike cashmere that has a lot of crimp to it. So camel hair is like in a different kind of category, and I don't necessarily like it in a knit because of its long sort of silkiness to it. It makes knits very heavy. Not even necessarily like weight heavy, but heavy in that it will start to grow. It will start to drag a little bit. And I'm not the biggest fan of that. I like my knitwear to kind of keep its shape, which is why I really like wool blends. But as a woven, it is incredible because it's so soft. That's why you see a lot of like camel hair coats, camel hair blazers, because it's a woven fabric and it's not going to stretch, it's not going to grow over time because it's in a woven fabric versus like a knit, which is stretchy. So it's brushed, so it makes it really smooth. There's a little bit of like pile there. It's so scrumptious. It is totally lined. Here, let me show you. It is lined so it's easy on and off. Otherwise, you know, it would be a little bit difficult to get your arms in and out of there. And this does zip open. There's a flap here, and then there is a button. So if you want to keep this part of your neck warm, you don't have a scarf or whatever, that's really handy. Or you can just zip it up if you want. The pocket I pointed out, there's leather tabs on the zippers, and then there is the drawstring at the bottom if you want to, I don't know, make it like a blouse out a little bit. I love this. Now, if you recall, I was talking about how Mrs. Prada really likes those creases in things. It's very nostalgic to her, and so she creates those creases in a lot of her clothing on purpose, purposefully. And you can see that here on the back of this, these creases here, they're like pressed in. And here's one on the shoulder and on the front here. Do you see those creases? And I even thought to myself, I was like, ooh, should I iron those out? And I was like, no, Mrs. Prada would not want me to. She likes them. So I'm going to leave them on there just for her. So that is the camel-haired anorak that I got. I love it. I got to wear this one day when I was in Milan. It was actually cool enough. And surprisingly, it did get warm. I did get warm in this. This is very, very warm, but it wasn't like suffocating. It wasn't like it wasn't breathing at all. There's a nice breathability to this fabric, which I love too. So it remained comfortable all day, even though it did start to get warm. So I thought this was perfect for the upcoming cooler months here in Vegas. This is like the perfect kind of thing, a light kind of layer. Let me try on these pieces for you. I don't know why I didn't think to do that. So let me try on this sweater first. These Prada tags are like, they attack you. I should just cut them off. So here is the size 40 on me. So the 42 was like even a little bit longer. So it just was like, you know, if you want to kind of pull it up a little bit and wear it like this. It was too much. There was like too much going on. So anyway, I got the 40. The sleeves a little bit long, of course, for me. So I just roll up the cuffs and voila. It looks pretty good with these light gray, like dove gray colored pants. And the shirt that I have underneath is huge. It's a very oversized t-shirt, so it looks a little poofy underneath. But I think this would look so great with like a button front shirt with like the collar kind of like tucked in. Very sharp. I have a feeling I'm gonna get a bunch of these this season just to get some basics like navy, gray, black. If they make it in all those colors, I think they probably do. But sometimes they will do the same silhouette, this very basic sort of pattern, but it'll be like 100% cashmere. So I'll have to see. I'll have to go to my boutique here at Crystal's. But this color is so good, isn't it? So, so good. My God, I'm really, really just praying for fall to come to Vegas already. Okay, here is the camel anorak. Let me zip it up a little bit here. And kangaroo pocket here, fully functioning. Pocket, oh, I put the tags in there. I took them off because I wore it in Milan. And the drawstring at the bottom, I'm pretty sure I'll leave it open. I don't think I need to blast it out. I don't know, we'll see. I have the option though. And then the cuffs here. What's it, the hood? And, oh, what size is this? Let's see. So many tags, so little information. Nope. This is a size 40 as well. So the same size as the sweater. I love this piece. I'm gonna be wearing this non-stop all fall winter. Oh, here's that little flap, which you can tuck on the inside, or if you open this all the way up, you can leave it out like that. There is a button. There's a button here, and you can close it up if you want, but I like kind of having it flapped open like so. Yeah, oh my God, I love this. Love this. It's so, so soft. If you were here right now, you would want to pet me for sure. Okay, well, I'm just gonna leave this on. So those are the 3 things that I got at Prada. Let's move on to Miu Miu because that's the next place that I went to. So I went to Miu Miu, I showed you some footage there. I tried on a burgundy colored zip-up jacket in kid mohair, and so I thought since I had that Prada bomber in kid mohair, the same kind of weight, I don't know, I loved the color, the style was like completely different from the bomber, but I was just, I don't know, I was kind of wishing it was just in a cotton canvas or something, or like a cotton denim, or just you know, like a different fabric, because I just felt like it was a little bit repetitive in terms of that. Look completely different. But I felt like because it was the same material, it's the same weight, that I'd probably wear it for the same occasions. So I don't know, I probably overthought it a little bit too much. And then I tried on that blue, that navy blue, like, it's like a shacket kind of. It looked kind of like almost like a lab jacket. I loved it because it had like, all this like really interesting detail with like frayed bits. It was like double layered and it was really, really cool. But I don't know, I just kind of shied away from getting more clothing because I had, you know, just gotten this and the sweater, and I was like, again, they're all completely different, and I could have picked that up and I would have loved those pieces, but I was like, let me just slow my roll. It was also like the second day we were there, I think we went to Miu Miu. Second or third day we were there, and I was like, I don't know what else is gonna happen. So I did end up getting a handbag and a pair of shoes. Let me show you the shoes. Now I got completely influenced to buy these. I was just seeing them all over Instagram, and they had a previous version that was just like a full sneaker, but I got the New Balance collaboration because they came out with mules. And you guys know how much I love a slip-on. And I couldn't believe that they had my size. So I did get size, are these 38s? Hold on. These are 38 and a half. Let me get all this stuffing out. This is what the sneaker looks like. I mean, just so silly. Did I need Miu Miu New Balance sneakers? No. But they come with, you know, 2, 3 sets of shoelaces, so you can kind of like play around with that. Let me show you the other one. So here is the right shoe. So I'm probably gonna wear this like a little mismatchy. And here, I'll put them on so you can see. I mean, how cute are these? They're really cute. And I would have gotten the full sneaker for sure. It's impossible to find Miu Miu in Las Vegas. So there was no chance of me getting them here. It would be like on a trip to New York or whatever. Anyway, my point is they had a full sneaker, but then they just came out with these mules and I was like, oh, these are even better. So I'm glad I scored these. I think I got the last, you know, they always say that, who knows? I think I got the last 38 and a half that was available. And it was funny because I was sitting across the way from a woman, I believe American, who came in and she started trying these sneakers. I had already like purchased mine and she sat down and I was like, they're great. I was like, they're really comfortable. But I think she was a 38 and she was with a friend that was like a 39 and hers fit and her friends didn't fit and she was like, yes. It was a very cute, very funny moment. And when she was leaving, I was still there. I think that's when I was trying on all the jackets. She was leaving and she was like, anyway, there was a lot of bonding over these sneakers. But I do love them. I'm gonna be wearing them a lot for sure. Okay, now for the handbag that I got. So I just put this right into my luggage the way it was, so it still has all its wrapping on there. I love this bag. So again, another thing that I was completely influenced in purchasing, the tote, this Miu Miu tote version, where it's like more open at the top, I feel like it's everywhere. I feel like it's like if someone is holding a Miu Miu bag, that is the one. And I just don't use totes that much. They're just too big for me. If I still lived in New York, I'm sure I would love it. So they had this size, which was like the medium size. They had one that was even smaller, but the smaller one, I just didn't like. I didn't like the look of it. It just didn't look right to me. So they had it in this color, black. I think that's it because I was checking to see if they had it in a lighter brown. I just wanted to see what it looked like, but I was pretty sure I wanted this color. So this is like a chocolate brown. There's just a hint of like a red undertone in there. So beautiful. Here's the hardware in the front. And there are the zippers. So like I mentioned, the tote version is much deeper. It's actually probably the same width, but it's deeper. And then there's like open pockets at the top. And I think there's like a zipper compartment in the middle. But this one is more like an Alma bag, basically. So it's like rounded at the top. The whole thing is closed with the zipper. And it is not terribly exaggerated in an east-west way, but it is wider than it is deeper. And it does come with a shoulder strap, so I can wear it crossbody if I want, but bags like this I'll probably just hold like a top handle. So here's the shoulder strap, and then let me just show you the inside here. So there's a pocket here. It's lined in a contrasting like cotton canvas fabric, which is really nice, makes it easier to see things. And then there's a zippered pocket as well. So here is the shoulder strap. It's got this closure so that I can shorten or lengthen a little bit. And then there's D-rings on the inside of the handles there. So I'm going to attach there. If I want to wear it crossbody, these handles I think make it a little awkward because they're right under the boob, but I think it's a really nice option. You know, if you just don't have hands-free or if you need hands-free, I think it's great and it's easy to get into the bag, all that kind of stuff. So I love this, and I love this little strap in the front. It's so cute, purely decorative. It doesn't do much, but it's so cute. And then the Miu Miu logo is just embossed there. I love the Miu Miu aesthetic. It has like this antiqued, sort of like retro 60s, 70s vibe to it. It's really fun, really, really fun. So that's what I picked up at Miu Miu. Love this bag. I wish we would get Miu Miu here in Las Vegas. If anyone with any pull is watching, would love a Miu Miu in Vegas. Love that. Okay, and last but not least, these purchases were all a complete surprise, completely unplanned, complete surprise. So I was with Zohair and Julie, and Zohair wanted to check out Loewe. So we go to the Loewe boutique, and it was only women's. But we were like, okay, so we start looking around, and I've been kind of like low-key on the hunt for a burgundy colored bag. Burgundy colored anything, because it's such a hot color for fall, and the more I see it, the more I like it, the more I want something in it. So I was actually contemplating the new flamenco clutch. They have like a really large size for fall, and it comes with the donut chain or whatever. Anyway, I was playing around with it, I was looking at it. The like large clutch that they just came out with is large. And so it made a statement. It would definitely be like an awesome like fashion statement, but I'm like, what am I gonna have in there? Like my little wallet, like, and a lip gloss. So it just seemed silly. And then the size down was much smaller, and it just, I don't know, it didn't have the impact. So I'm still thinking on that bag, but I passed on it at that point. So then they said, oh, well, there is like a department store in Milan. I can't remember the name. It's like La Rin something. It starts with an R. So they're like, they have a Loewe men's section. And we were like, okay, let's go over there. It was in walking distance. It was by the Duomo. So we went there, got completely lost inside. We were like on the wrong side of it or whatever. Anyway, we finally found it, and I fell in love with this. It's not even burgundy. It's more of like a Bordeaux wine color. Look at this bag. So as you guys know, I have the elephant bag from Loewe, the straw one. I got that for the cruise. I love it. I call him Heffy. I have to name this guy. But I was contemplating actually this bag when they came out with it in the gray, but Julie and I were actually talking about it, and it was like, it's so literal, like a gray elephant. And at the time I was like, oh, but it's like, it makes sense, you know, whatever. And they had the gray, and I was kind of going back and forth. Zohair voted for the gray, Julie voted for the Bordeaux color, I'll call it. And I just went with the Bordeaux. I just looked, I don't know, it looked right. It looked right. So anyway, I got this guy. And it's like kind of a chunky bag. You know, it doesn't fit quite as much as you would think, because so much of this bag, like from here on, is not bag. It's just the elephant's face. And because of like the folding here and everything, it's just not as big as it looks, and which is fine. I mean, it's plenty big enough. That's the actual dust bag. It is plenty big enough. And I was shocked when I put it on as a crossbody. It didn't seem like too bulky. I thought, oh, I'm never gonna wear it as a crossbody. It's just gonna be sticking out away from me too far. But it actually sits really nicely right here, just hanging out on my shoulder. So he's kind of the perfect size, and these top handles are really, really nice. So I was really contemplating whether or not I wanted this bag. This color is brand new for this season, so I was like, I'm just gonna get it. I'm just gonna get it. I love the elephant. I love Loewe. I love this color. Why not? So picked this guy up, and then while I was there, I saw a couple of t-shirts that I really love. You guys know I love my Loewe t-shirts. So I picked up this one. So it's got the anagram here. So this is like embroidered. This is like printed with embroidery, and then this the same. Like a lot of this is printed. There's some embroidery. It's just really, really cool. This was the only size that they had left. It's a medium, but these are men's t-shirts. So definitely oversized. Love it. And this one. This whole line was basically sold out. So this is the collaboration that they did with that ceramics studio in Japan. I believe my little otter card case, the yellow one with the polka dots, it's like hand painted. That one's from the same collaboration. I think, I'm embarrassed to say, I don't remember the ceramic studio name. It's like Sunija, something like that. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Anyway, I'll put it on the screen right here. But they had this t-shirt from that collaboration, which I have not been able to find. But it's the panda with the boy sitting on top of the anagram. And it's a forest green color, which I love. So picked this up as well. So I got these two t-shirts from Loewe. So those are all of the things that I purchased and brought home with me. Now, because I was at the Prada Risi and I was with a VIC, I could actually place an order. So that is part of the purpose of the REC. It is, you know, for press to come and take pictures, detailed pictures of things, get information. It's for merchandising teams of retail stores or whatever to get a close look, to kind of hone in on their buys or whatever for the season. And it's for VICs to go in also to take a close look at the things and to possibly place a pre-order for the items. So I wasn't sure if I was going to be allowed to, because again, Julie is the VIC, I'm simply her guest. But Zohair was like, yeah, go ahead. So I ended up getting, and I'll flash pictures up of the pieces that I got. I ended up getting the printed jacket. I loved this thing because it looks like tweed. From far away, it looks 100% like tweed, and I love tweed. But up close, the tweed is actually just a printed pattern on cotton, which is so much more practical for me in my particular climate. So I was like, oh my God, this is like perfect for me. It's like tweed. It looks like tweed, but it's actually like just a cotton coat. So I placed an order for that. And then I placed an order for these. I knew that I wanted because I saw them when they came down the runway. I was like, that's amazing. It is the Trump Loyal belt trouser. So the belt buckle is real, but the belt itself is actually painted onto the pant. I was like, I need those. So they had 3 versions of it. They had it in like a wool suiting with like a dark gray and a light gray. And then they had, it was more of like a slick kind of material. So there was probably, I don't know, maybe a stretch to it. But the color I didn't really like because it was a kind of a grayish blue. So I went with the light gray because I felt like the belt stood out the most. And I'm hoping they fit. I don't have the best luck with Prada pants. For some reason, I have a really hard time with pants because I think I have kind of a big gut, so I need a bigger waist situation, I think proportionately. And then my thighs are really big. So yeah, sometimes it just doesn't like work in this whole area, but I'm really hoping this works. And then I got 2 pairs of shoes. I got a pair of, you guessed it, slides or mules. They had, you know, they have like a little kiltie on the top. And I remember like the kiltie thing was very big for Prada, again, late 90s, early 2000s. I actually had a pair of loafers, I believe. It was either loafers or lace-ups, now I can't remember. Anyway, kind of decluttered those a long time ago. And they had them in black and white. And of course I was like, oh, well, the black, that seems more practical. But the white were really cute because they had that sort of antiquing to them, which Prada loves to do with like their lighter colored leathers. And you could see like the detailing, like the kiltie and everything on top with the white. So I went with the white, I pre-ordered the white, and then I pre-ordered a pair of sneakers, which I don't know if I have footage of. If I do, I'll put them up or I'll try and find maybe like a stock photo of them. But they, I think, are like a satin. They're either a satin or a nylon, black with a hard like silver toe cap to them. So cool. They had them in purple also, but I like the black. I really like the black with the silver cap, like the contrast. Oh my God, they're so cute. And they have like elastic ruching along the back ankle. So I pre-ordered those 4 things. And when you do a pre-order, you will get them. They'll make those for you, but not everything off of the runway is going to go into production. So if they don't put that jacket into production, me and whoever else pre-ordered it will be the only ones who have it, which is, I mean, kind of exciting. I don't really care. I don't care if people have it or don't have it. That's not a priority for me, but that's the situation. So a lot of these things don't end up getting like produced to be shipped to the stores, etc. So this is possibly like your only chance to get some of these things, or they may change it up a little bit. Like there was a really short skirt. I don't think they're going to be changing this. It was a printed metallic leather, and it's a very short mini skirt. So just for example, like for mass production, they may actually make that skirt a little bit longer. But if you were to pre-order it, it would be exactly the way it showed up on the runway. So if you prefer that, you'd want to pre-order it and not take the risk of them altering it or maybe not even putting it to production. So I was so excited that I could actually place a pre-order. So thrilling. So it should be delivered, Zohair was saying, probably in January. I mean, it is for spring, summer 25. So probably in January 2025, it's going to get shipped to the New York boutique and then he's going to ship it to me. I'm just so excited. I just felt like, again, this whole trip, I felt like the luckiest person in the entire world, but to be able to like pre-order some stuff, I was like, oh my God, amazing. Oh, and then some random free goodies. So at Miu Miu, our amazing sales associate. His name is Omar. If you go to Miu Miu in Milan, see Omar. He's wonderful. He's also adorable. But he's like, oh, we have a free gift. It is a Miu Miu eye mask. And you guys know how much I love my eye masks. I was so excited. So big thank you to Omar for passing that on to me. And then my friend that I was telling you about that works in fashion, and she was there for work. She went to the Bottega show, and you know, they get little trinkets and stuff. And she was like, do you want this? She's like, this reminded me of you. Do you want this? So it is, here's the box it came in. It's this little leather bunny, this pom-pom here, and it's this bunny bracelet basically. And then the show on there. Can you see that? Isn't that cute? And if you guys saw pictures of the Bottega show, you know that animals were a huge, huge theme to that show. Well, that is it, guys. That's what I picked up in Milan. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please let me know if you have any other questions from the vlogs. Like I said, I know I wasn't able to like really explain stuff, and I hope I kind of summarized everything at the beginning of this video a little bit more, you know, just to give you guys a little bit more information. So if you had any questions, I hope I answered them. But if not, please let me know down below in the comment section. I will try and answer them. And a big thank you to Allies of Skin for working with me on this video. Definitely check down below for a link to their products and also for my discount code. Definitely take advantage of that. I really, really love this serum. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.